Well, that probably looks quite different from the last time I turned on this camera. So this is what I decided to go with for my shelf. Which again, this is going to be my top shelf. I like this in the fact that, remember we were talking earlier that that my other option was I'd have to run 2x4s going up along this side, and then probably one along the back. I like this in that it's very slim, but the only dilemma I could see possibly in the future, these 2x4s are plenty strong the way they are, but I could definitely see in the future that they'd start to just bend a little bit. So maybe in the future I will have to add another means of bracing that, but I don't plan to put a ton of weight up here. I'm just going to put a few extra 2x4s in the future or something like that, so it's just going to house extra pieces of wood. So yeah, it was kind of tricky putting this thing up here, and the way I went about it was, the first thing I did was I laid that piece of 2x4 on the table down here, and then I held these pieces that go in between this 2x4 and the backing plate, and I screwed those on by hand. It was very tricky to get them exactly at a 90-degree angle and make sure that they were flush with the other piece of 2x4. So after I screwed all those in, then I took a framing square, right? Well, no, what I did, I took a piece of lumber, I cut it on a 45-degree angle, and then I measured down, and then I took a right angle square, and it went from here, and I measured that at a 90-degree angle straight up, and then I got my template for my braces, and I made 3 of those, and then, while this was still laying flat, it was upside down, I screwed those braces on with 1 screw. That way I could adjust them just a little bit, which I'm probably going to need to tweak them just a little bit to make sure that they're perfect. And then I actually had a second helper come in here, and the second helper pushed up against this while I came from the back and I screwed it in. So each one of these 2x4 cross members here has 2 screws in it. So the next thing I got to do is I got to put a level up there, and I got to ensure that it is level, and then once I ensure that it's level, then I'll screw on these those supports, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have enough wood to fill in up there, the gap up there, but no big deal. I figure I'm probably gonna have to go to Home Depot at some point and just get an extra piece of wood in the future to finish putting wood up there, as well as maybe an extra piece of wood to make a final shelf down there too. So we're getting there. And I'd say for right now that is going to conclude this video series. Hope you guys liked it. In the future, what I will be doing, I will be installing some plywood up there. I'm considering installing some lights underneath there so I have a nice illuminated working area. I would like to install a woodworking bench vise in the future right there. I'm going to do some type of shelf underneath here. I'll probably do some type of shelving unit here, possibly over here, one side or the other, or both sides. Maybe I'll do some type of shelf up here so I can store little lengths of 2x4 and 2x6 and other little scraps of wood. I think that would be an okay area right there because it's not going to obstruct the saw. And there's really not many other better things that I could think to stow up there. So I'll do some type of shelf there. Maybe a power strip of some sort, maybe along the back wall there. And I think that should pretty much conclude it. Again, I just want to note how well this saw fits on this table, as opposed to like a regular sliding miter saw. You'd have those 2 slide rails, and you'd have to cut a hole and they'd protrude through the back of this table, or you'd have to slide this saw so far forward that you'd have your angling adjustment knob probably sticking out all the way over here. So great saw, highly recommended, works perfectly with this table. And thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you're interested, I can do a couple more videos in the future as I add to this table. The only thing I have to do now is move this table over in its final resting area. And just so you know, I did make sure that the height of this upper shelf did not come in contact of that garage door rail, as well as I left probably around 10 inches of space. That way I'd ensure that I could be able to move material freely in and out of there. So, you know, just quick heads up, make sure you you design this table to your own specific needs. It's 8 feet wide, and that's about a 9-foot gap there, so I still have some room to keep my scraps there, and it's not going to obstruct anything. So job well done. Again, if you guys like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're looking for more videos in the future, please subscribe. If you're curious about any tools used in this video, please look in the description below, and I'll list a link to each individual tool used in this video. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.